Let me describe a moment and see if you recognize it. A thought pops into your head and suddenly you can't ignore it. Your heart starts racing, your body feels tense, and your brain says, I can't relax until I figure this out. Not later, not tomorrow, now. If that happens to you, this video will change how you understand intrusive thoughts. My name is Kelly Reyes. I'm a mental health coach with a trauma-informed background, focused on nervous system regulation and intrusive thought pattern. I work with people who aren't just bothered by their thoughts, but feel hijacked by them. Today, we're talking about something most people don't understand. Why intrusive thoughts feel so loud and urgent, and why that urgency is not a signal you should trust. Most people believe this without realizing it. If something feels intense, it must be important. So when a thought shows up with physical symptoms like racing heart, tight chest, tunnel vision, it feels like an emergency. But intensity is not the same as importance, and urgency is not the same as danger. Here's how this usually plays out. A thought appears, your body reacts instantly, and then your brain says, I need to understand why I thought this. I can't move on until this makes sense. What if ignoring this is irresponsible? The thought doesn't just feel uncomfortable, it feels demanding. That demand is the trap. Here's what's happening neurologically. The amygdala, your brain's alarm system, detects threat based on emotion, not logic. When a thought clashes with your values or your sense of safety, the amygdala tags it as dangerous. This is called threat detection or threat tagging. Once that happens, your nervous system activates, your attention narrows, and your brain shifts into fix it now mode. At that point, you're no longer thinking clearly, you're reacting. And this creates what I call the urgency illusion. Your brain equates loud with important, intense with meaningful, and urgent equals necessary to solve. But urgency is not a message from wisdom. It's a symptom of nervous system activation. An anxious brain creates fake deadlines. It says, you can't rest until this is solved. But intrusive thoughts don't get resolved through thinking. They dissolve when the nervous system calms. When you respond by analyzing, checking, or seeking reassurance, your brain hears, good catch. This really is an emergency. So it keeps bringing the thought back, not because it's important, but because you just taught your brain to treat it like a fire alarm. Here's the reframe I want you to remember. Loud thoughts are not meaningful thoughts. They are dysregulated thoughts. And your job is not to answer the thought. Your job is just to lower the volume. So I want to do something with you right now. Not later, not as homework, but right now. If you're watching this and a thought has ever felt urgent, I want you to try this with me. First, bring to mind a recent intrusive thought that felt pressing. One that made your body tense or your mind spiraled. You don't need to go into details, just notice the feeling. Now, before we talk about the thought, check in with your body. Notice how your body feels. Now, here is the key part. Instead of asking, is this thought true? Ask this instead. What would happen if I did nothing with this thought for about 60 seconds? Don't answer it. Just notice what your body does when you don't engage. Now, slow your exhale, longer out than in. And as you do, silently say, this is urgency, not importance. Now, here is the most important moment. If the intensity drops even a little, that means the problem was never the thought. It was the nervous system. That is what regulation feels like. That is what breaks the urgency illusion. This is why I tell clients, you don't need clarity first. You need calm first. Calm doesn't come from answers, it comes from safety. Now I want to share a personal example for those who approach this through a faith lens. I'm a Christian and this shows up in my marriage in very real ways. There have been moments with my husband where he says something in a certain tone or phrasing and immediately my mind says, this needs to be addressed right now. If we don't talk about this immediately, it's going to create problems later. If I let this go, I'm being responsible. And the urgency feels spiritual, like I'm being prompted to act. But here's what I've learned. That urgency isn't discernment. It's fear trying to protect the future. And the Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians 14:13 and in Isaiah 13:15 says, God does not rush us into panic-based decisions. He invites us into peace first. So instead of reacting immediately, I pause, I pray, and I let my nervous system settle. And what's amazing is clarity comes after calm, not before. That faith-based lens is here for those who want it. But whether this shows up in relationships, work, parenting, or your own thoughts, the principle remains the same. Urgency is not wisdom, it's a body state. And the moment you learn to regulate first, you take your power back. You don't have to answer every thought, you don't have to fix everything immediately, and you don't have to trust urgency. Pause, regulate, and then decide. If this helped you, please don't forget to like it, subscribe, and share with somebody who might need it. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.